This is the real world. Oh, that's a great idea. Ooh, it's not what we like to see. Oh my goodness, look how old that is. Just madness, that. I'm really starting to hope that I haven't made a mistake. Where's it going? This is the lighting one here, isn't it?
Fit it underneath?
Yeah, it's going under there. It's going along, it's not in that one. Must be another one along.
It's either here or here. Let me just check from here.
So I have to be super careful here because in newer houses, I'm usually happy to use the things like the Super Rod Cavity Master or tools like that to drill out floorboards where I can't get the carpet all the way up. On old houses, you just don't do it because back in the day, they didn't drill holes like that. They used to notch joists on top. So if you do that, you've got no forgiveness, no tolerance. You're just going to go straight through a pipe or a conduit, like here if we had done it to get into that floor joist. Another reason you've got to be careful in old period homes, I'm fairly sure that's asbestos, that pipe wrap. So I'm not going to touch it, I'm just going to leave it. I need to just drill out. Tool of the day for this episode, these spade bits, unbelievable. The Bosch blue bits are just so good, so fast. Alright, apparently there's a surprise for me, so I don't see anything. What, the chisel? Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really nice. I like that. That's proper old as well, isn't it? I like to think that that's the amber that they used off Jurassic Park. What?
See, I was just went, wow, chisel, I was ready to put it in my bag.
I wanted to see a little mosquito in there for them to recreate dinosaurs off of.
Yeah,
brilliant. I'll keep that, thank you very much. That's kind of you. Made in England as well.
That wasn't your present.
Back before, made in Wakefield. Hey, shout out to Wakey boys, you know? Or they call them woke boys now. I was expecting something more than a chisel, I'm going to be honest.
You've got that's not your present, that's just a surprise.
You got me one of them sacker tools, didn't you? Scribing tools.
That is actually your present.
Wait, how did you get one so fast?
I didn't get it, I'm giving you my one.
Ah.
Boom. Julian.
I'm going to not smash your face in now. Thank you.
And I got you a cake, so that's...
Well, the cake is not a present, is it? That's actually cruel. It's impossible. It's literally physically impossible. Everything in my brain is like, whenever I pick up a tool, don't squeeze the trigger twice.
It's quite a wide one. Listen. Can you hear this?
Oh, mate, that's going to be very difficult to drill. There we go, I'm through. Another problem with drills is you always feel like James Bond when I'm like, don't do it. Perfect. There it is. Don't pull the rods because they're only barely in. Okay, hold up. Stop. Go for it. It's the most annoying thing when the end of the cable drum comes off. For some reason my van keeps letting in loads of moisture, so all the ends just end up rotting away. And my tools end up going rusty. I need to sort it. I'm thinking of getting some of them cat litter boxes or something and putting it in there, just something to absorb some moisture out of the air. You good?
Yeah, I've got it.
So we're using these are Quinetic, so it's a TLC's brand. I believe BEW and a couple of other wholesalers are trying to answer these now, but these have been out for years and I've just never had a problem with them. They're absolutely brilliant. What they do is you wire this in, super simple, literally live in, live out, done, and it's just a wireless relay effectively. It's always searching for a signal, and the actual clicking of the switch, which I'll show you, generates just enough kinetic energy to send that signal to this to open or close the relay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them above the lights. We're not taking the fittings down because I don't want to touch them fittings. There's got one down there from Austria, as you saw in part one, where it's been handmade by his father-in-law, and it's absolutely stunning. So not a chance that we're going to be touching that. Same for this one here. There's just lots of big fittings, so with a high ceiling. So we're going to do it all from above, cut a little bit so it can be dropped down if they ever want to take down the fitting for a fault find or whatever else in future. And we're going to label on the consumer unit Quinetic receivers used for the downstairs lighting circuit, hidden above the ceiling, directly above all of the lights, so they're all still accessible. It just means that we can now do this rewire with absolutely no chasing. So we can just bounce feeds through the floor to each point and then do all wireless switching. So it's brilliant. It means absolutely no damage to the walls, which is ultimately what the customer has requested. So that's what we're going to do. Well, it's actually solid. It's a muscle. It's actually a solid bit of muscle.
Get off me now. You're sweaty, man.
We're going to have to take the chandelier down. Reason being, I just think I would consider this inaccessible if we was to put a kinetic receiver above this ceiling, because polystyrene, solid. So I want to put it somewhere on top of the chandelier here. I want to pull the cable through the rows, out, stick it just to the edge there. It'll be slightly visible, but I mean, it's better than kick up the pants, isn't it? I think then we'll just really, really, really carefully lift it up, because if you look, it's got all these ornate little figures on there, which have been hand carved, so it's very scary. I'll be honest, I've never had a Quinetic receiver fail, but let's say this one did decide to. How on earth are they going to get to it? It's buried. They've got to lift up a floorboard, lift up that, or it can just be clipped to the side of this here, even just cable tied on somewhere. Despite everything I've just been saying, we're going to have to take this bad boy off. Right, so I'm just going to...
We've got it.
Yeah. So we've taken the light fitting down. It didn't break, so very happy. But we're going to pop a new cable out through there, and then that will just be our live feed from the board. Okay, Johnny, that's up. These cables now are dead because that's the old cutout VIR. Just completely get rid of it, so there's no chance of it being livened up. We did predict, didn't we, that we'd find loads of junction boxes above the ceiling, and we did. We found loads with the VIR and all sorts coming in throughout it. So we are going to just screw that back onto there. This is the future. What's cool is you probably couldn't have even imagined this a few years ago. Even when I started, I couldn't have imagined it, not without a battery or something. So you think, what technology is out there waiting to be discovered that we can't even imagine right now? It's really exciting, isn't it? The thing is, they don't break. I don't know if anyone else has had a bad experience with them, but I've installed heaps of these and I've never had a bad experience with one not working. Cool, let's go. Just to show that I'm really not exaggerating how bad this VIR cable is, look, I'm literally able to peel that off just with my screwdriver, which, you know, is not very standard. Can't peel the PVC. My screwdriver, let's try this one, look, completely untouched. It's so fragile. When it was first installed, obviously that rubber would have been fine. I wouldn't have been able to peel it like that, but now it's aged and deteriorated. It can do that, break down more inside the wall and cause fires, nuisance tripping, all sorts of issues. So we're just getting rid of it. I've never actually seen this before. Oh, never inside a house or anything. This cable is actually red. The insulation is red, the inside as well. It's not just like a sleeve or something. That's powering that light just there. But I find that curious. But yeah, so we're gonna get rid of all of this, gonna kill it, disconnect it, disconnect the junction box feed so it's completely dead, and do it all from Quinetics. I've pulled the fridge out, so we're just trying to suss out, like lift that up, John, show them that. There's a heck of a lot of junction boxes and things. And over here, you can see, like, you've got that red stretcher cable there. That's live, not sure what it's powering. Yeah, so it's all live doing stuff. But what I was hoping to do is find a feed that's live. So I'm gonna use that, I think. Find where that's coming from. I reckon that's coming from the board or a junction box up there, but either way, I don't know what I'm looking at yet. This wall has obviously been added. You can see where they've cut it around dado rail and stuff. This was obviously all one big room originally. So I think that's why the wires have been so chopped and changed and bodged about. Should we get the big steps?
I love this new tool, Cory. What's this new tool? Oh, yeah.
There's some really original BG. Look. An old doorbell transformer lid. See if I can find the transformer somewhere. Yep, there it is. Be careful, that's probably live. There we go. Very old. Let's see. Yes, it is. Probably was doing a doorbell once upon a time. I reckon that's on that plug there. Yeah, that was the plug. Cool. All right. Now that's disconnected, I just want to double check that the Ring doorbell still works. I'm pretty sure the Ring doorbell's not powered from there. I'll tell you what, just out of curiosity, because it's so old, let's see if it still works. Yeah, it does. It still works. That's awesome.
Doorbell.
Yeah. Push the doorbell, John. Yeah, it doesn't work now, so let me just reconnect that. So I just ripped out some of this old wiring thinking, yeah, it's old. It's been up here for years. It's actually not. Someone's been up here very recently to fit the brand new Nest doorbell and attach onto the old stuff. So what I find quite astonishing is that someone's been up here, done all the doorbell work, obviously seen all of what I've seen, the old transformer and things, and not thought to remove that, not thought to do all the other bits, just to leave it sitting up there live. Like, yeah, that's okay, I'll do your doorbell, I won't look at anything else, I'll turn a complete blind eye to all the rest of it. It's pretty shocking. This is the feed direct, I think, from the fuse board. John, yeah. I think this one here goes straight back to the consumer unit. I think that's the first point there behind the fridge. Oh, actually no, it's not, because this is live still. See if you can turn it off from there. I'm just cutting all of this to clean out and starting again. Not wasting my time with it. Right, so that is the ring there, I think. That socket there was a spur out, but we can do it properly on the ring. We can just do socket, 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 done. I was really hoping behind these wall lights we'd have a feed in and a feed out. My plan was, if that was the case, the other side of this wall is an airing cupboard. So I was going to drill into the airing cupboard, get a feed off a fuse spur or somewhere to a Kinetic receiver, put a Kinetic switch there and just do it all off Kinetic, and then you could just loop the feed and disregard the wherever it's powered from with VIR, but I can't. Because it's not been done like that, unless that's the end of line, which I find unlikely. There's definitely just junction boxes scattered about the place. What a pig. Really, really, really don't want to lift the floor upstairs. Really, 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 really don't want to. I'm running out of options. Junction box, that's what we're after. We are after junction boxes because that has got huge potential to be feeds or whatever. There's another one there somewhere. I'll get a camera up there. There we go, there's a junction box there on the ceiling. See that? The hole through the wall there for the feed in. You've got what I can presume is like an earth or something there, disappearing off. And I presume maybe they had a ceiling rose up there, right? And then when they put the void ceiling in, they've just gone junction box, cables coming down. That is why now we have regs on accessibility, because that's a nightmare. I'm not gonna be able to get my arm to that. But I reckon you've probably got VIR feed in and out to that junction box, what was a ceiling rose. Then all the cables extended out of that are new. So that's why it looks like we have new cables, but they're not new, they're VIR. There we go, paired. Great. So we've got this receiver up here, not the prettiest, but it saves damaging it. So moment of truth. On top. Man, that is staggering. John has just got me a very, very exciting present, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it because I love these things, and I've never actually owned my own pair. I've always borrowed them or just struggled with a hacksaw. Yeah, they are absolutely wicked. They're ratchet cutters for bigger cables, just awesome. Like, that is exactly what I need. I'm doing a lot, even just for the EV Ultra cable. It's such a pain having to cut through it with a hacksaw or a grinder if we're really rough. But now I've got proper cutters for them. What an absolute legend. I do make good friends. Right, they are living. Right there, they are. Nice! Look, this is why I do not reconnect these things.
No, it's filling the room.
It's filling the room with smoke. I don't like these things.
It gets so hot.
It's so full of grease and rubbish, and you can't maintain them.
It stinks. God.
Yeah. Yeah, the dust isn't all the smoke, that's the thing. But situation is, the house desperately needs a rewire, right? Like properly needs a rewire. VIR everywhere, junction boxes everywhere, bad connections everywhere. But I know the customer is not going to be rewiring the house. It's not going to happen. So I thought, right, we're going to walk away and leave it as it is, or we can just peek into the can of worms and see if there's anything we can do to make it at all better in the time we've got allowed. And the time we've got allowed is very, very quickly coming to an end. We're literally not stopped for lunch. We've not even stopped for coffee, have we? My coffee's sitting down there cold. Because we're just trying to get as much done as we can for him. He's one of the loveliest fellas you've ever met in your entire life. And I completely understand his situation. So I'm just trying to make it as safe as I can for him. We finished the jobs we quoted to do yesterday. We could have left yesterday, but you know, we're not on an hourly rate, we're on a price. So he's not getting charged extra for these jobs. He'll get charged for the materials we use, but not for our time. So before anyone worries that, oh, we're just here to find all this extra work and rip him off, it's actually so far from that. We could literally have left yesterday with the jobs we've got quoted. I'm happy that we've made everything we've touched safer. However, I'm still really not happy with the installation. There's still VIR everywhere, but we're out of time now. So we're just putting everything back together, making it as safe as we can, safer as we found it or better. We're gonna have to leave it for now and make a list of jobs to come back and do, and that's the best we can do. Up here, we found a junction box that was feeding the smoky heater, and that was coming off the lighting. So I've disconnected that, disconnected both of the spurs to it, and reconnected the cable going that way into it, and all those lights have come back on now. It's not necessarily a good thing because there definitely is VIR legs being used. So I'm still 100% not happy with it, but we just cannot stay any longer. We've run out of time. I reckon another couple days and we'll probably have most of it done. What we've done is we've removed all of the wiring and junction boxes from behind there. We've put a new socket on because that one had something snapped off in it. And we've got a fused spur now switching these devices. So that now switches these off and on. Even though the plug's slightly inaccessible, it's accessible, but it's not immediately accessible. It is switched by a mechanical isolator. So for now, that is going to conclude part 3.
The mobile you're ringing from, do you want me to use this to contact you on?
Yes, please, yeah.
Just briefly, what's the problem with the vehicle?
It just won't start. I'm not sure if it's a battery issue. And I can give you the postcode if you like. Just trying to leave the job, and nightmare job as it is, and now the van's broken down, it just won't start. It's just making a horrible clicking noise. What's annoying is there's going to be a million mechanics watching this. They're going to go, oh, it's that, you need to twist that or replace that fuse. I'm not the mechanic. Here, come around here. Let's show the people of YouTube the fault. Look at the dash. I think there's a problem with the starter motor. Status update is Ford have actually been legends. I've got to say, that is some wicked turnaround time. They said they're going to be there in about 10 minutes. So that's within 20 minutes of the call. Breakdown come in. That's pretty awesome. Sorry, this is a very blokish stance. They said to me, are you blocking any roads? I said, well, yeah, I am actually. They said, is it a busy road? I said, well, I'm sure at times it's busy, yeah. And can traffic get past? My words were just about. So I think we've bumped up their priority list a little bit. So I'm just going to use the time to clean my van. Might as well. So let's give it a good clean up. I always like cleaning these out. These are very satisfying. Get the bits out the engine bay. Should we film that post box? All our international viewers are going to love a good red post box. Getting rid of those post boxes and the red telephone boxes for the awful see-through BT telephone boxes is the worst downgrade of our generation.